I'm watching the movie The Apprenticeship of Duddy Kravitz. I think it came out around 1974. There's just so much thought-provoking Jewish material in here because I'm a convert to Judaism, grew up a Seventh-Day Adventist, and it's just a very different way of living. For instance, I'm just thinking about bribes. So I grew up a Seventh-Day Adventist. I didn't know anyone who took bribes or offered bribes. They just weren't talked about. And I'm not arguing they didn't happen. I'm sure they happened, but just wasn't the way that Adventists did things. You didn't talk so openly about, money facilitating things that didn't have an obvious price tag, and sex and money were generally not topics for polite conversation in a WASP environment. WASP, White Anglo-Saxon Protestant. The WASP manner is much more reserved than the Jewish manner. So then I became a Jew in 1993, and I encountered a world of frankness that was hitherto unknown to me, because even among Jews at a Shabbat table, I found a lot of earthy talk. And this one Orthodox family told me they'd given their 13-year-old son, for his Bar Mitzvah present, a jar of vaseline and a copy of Penthouse magazine. So no Orthodox Seventh-Day Adventist family would ever say such a thing. So Seventh-Day Adventists are Protestants, and Protestantism is all about faith. When you have faith in God, it transforms your heart so that you no longer live for money and sex and fame and power and the like. Now Judaism is all about works. You do this and you do this and then you do this. Because of that, it's a religion of law. You can be much more open and honest about what's going on in your heart. So it's no accident that Jews developed, invented, and popularized psychotherapy, psychoanalysis. Now, a good Seventh-Day Adventist is not supposed to live for money. You don't think of money as a way of solving inconvenient problems that do not on the face of it have a price tag. Then as I grew up in life, I found that pretty much everybody had a price and almost everything had a monetary solution. So when I converted to Judaism, I found Jews were much more real than the people I was used to. They were much more gritty in how they talked about life. They were more earthy, more down to earth, less pretentious, more passionate about this life than the next life, more eager to succeed in the here and now, devoted to minimizing suffering, even if it meant just adjusting the thermostat a degree or two hotter or colder. Like I never encountered so many complaints about, it's a little too hot or a little too cold in here than I did in Jewish life. And Jewish girls told me about giving their dates various forms of release just to get the guy out of their apartment without having to do the ultimate deed. So this form of bribery for just leaving a girl's apartment was unknown in my Seventh-Day Adventist world. Remember the Jewish Journal of Los Angeles commissioned a front-page profile of me in 2001, and when an Orthodox Jewish woman got a sneak peek, she called me in a panic and said I should try to bribe the journal $10,000 to not publish the piece. This is just not a way of thinking that I was used to. It never occurred to me to offer a bribe. Did not offer a bribe, and the piece never was published. 2007, the journal commissioned another front-page piece on me, and that did get published. So sex and money are important parts of life. Judaism gives them their due, does not deny their power. I think Jews tend to be a little more pragmatic and a little less airy-fairy about these matters. So using money to solve problems comes much more easily to the Jews I know than to the Seventh-Day Adventists I know who have more of that WASP, White Anglo-Saxon Protestant reserve. So you could call some of these transactions bribes, just as you'd call women who exchange sex for materials or money, hookers. But I guess I don't want to cast aspersions on many of these transactions. I see just people doing the best they can do. Sometimes the most honorable thing you can do is not the most polite thing. So, convert to Judaism, I've come to love and appreciate Jewish honesty about money, sex, fame, power, and the other tawdry things that drive us. This Jewish honesty has helped me to see myself and to see life much more clearly. I could have chosen to have stayed a Seventh-Day Adventist and pretended to be much more full of faith, or really full of faith, so that I was above these worldly matters. I didn't. I chose to become Jewish. I chose real. And when the Jewish part of me looks back at the Seventh-Day Adventist world I came from, sometimes seems to me a little overly nice and largely fake. Then when the Seventh-Day Adventist part of me looks at the Jewish world I'm in, sometimes it appears crude and unspiritual.